USA in forever, like ever, because it's always been a big conference. Now they have less than 10 teams in the conference, but that's just for this year. Kennesaw State's on the way. I think that Stetson's coming over as well too. I have to recheck who's going to Conference USA, but they got a good influx coming in next year of mid majors in that area. So pretty much, what do we have here? We have Conference USA. Let's go ahead and see exactly how I have this conference setting up. We have FIU, who's probably in better condition, and I was going to say this as well too a moment ago when we talked about Florida Atlantic. I know it feels good for these two to be separated because they were following each other around everywhere, and pretty much now the FAU FIU rivalry will still be in place, but it doesn't have to do anything with, determining who can win the division and things like that in the conference and stuff. But FIU, I got them going under 3.5. FIU is a team that is a yearly struggle. They had a few good moments when Butch Davis was the coach, but you know what? That time has passed, and things move on from there. He put some good balance together. He gave some guys some opportunities that were from the JUCO level that were able to dominate, get themselves some NFL looks and things like that. But other than that, FIU was nothing more but a school that just is there. They're just middling, and under 3.5. We won't even lose any sleep if they go over this. It doesn't matter. Jacksonville State has entered the big time. They have went from an FCS school down to being a FBS school. And so pretty much the transition does take a little bit of time. So I do like Jacksonville State with the under 4.5. I think that is going to be a tough task for this team moving forward because they have to get acclimated to this style of play. It's going to be a lot different from where they come from. But Jacksonville State, from what I know, they were a pretty successful team in FCS. They might not win national championships every year, but they were a playoff team a lot of times. And then you got Liberty. Liberty has been an independent for like the last almost decade since they've entered the FBS portion of college football, and they've thrived. They've thrived very well because they got Hugh Freeze as the head coach. They've even been able to get a quarterback drafted, you know what I mean, third round, Malik Willis. And Malik Willis was seen as the best quarterback in that draft that year. So there's a lot of good things that Liberty's doing. They're doing a good job recruiting as well, too. I think them going over 8.5 is probably the best bet in this conference moving forward. All right, so we have Louisiana Tech, and I feel like Louisiana Tech got left. Let's keep it real because San Antonio, Rice, they could have stayed in Conference USA. Charlotte could have stayed in Conference USA. But when you look at the usual suspects of Conference USA, you would have thought Louisiana Tech was leaving too. But they said, nah. We're going to stay here. We're going to chill here because we're trying to win some conference championships. We're trying to move on. They're trying to get back to how they used to be in the old Sun Belt. You know what I mean? Because they used to be a Sun Belt team. And pretty much Louisiana Tech, I got them going over 6. They should challenge Liberty for the conference championship, in my opinion. But we'll see how it goes. Middle Tennessee State is a team, and you say, but did they get left too, Pop? No, they're right where they belong. Middle Tennessee State. I think that this team is very tricky. You don't know exactly what to expect with them, but I just feel like they'll land right on 6 this year. You know what I mean? I feel like they're going to have a bad non-conference, and then they'll have a good Conference USA, but then they'll run into the top-heavy teams in the Conference USA and won't be much of a threat to them. But we'll see. This is another team that can play spoiler, so we'll see how it goes. Then we got New Mexico State, the over 6 with the plus 100. New Mexico State, another team that has entered the Conference USA. So that would give us now 1, 2, 3 brand new teams. And then you got Sam Houston, who was a Division II powerhouse for a long time, then an FCS powerhouse for a long time. And now they've walked into the FBS because Sam Houston is increasing their resources at their school. Even their basketball team has became a more of a high ranking situation where they're not top 25, but they have a little bit more credibility because they've moved into a pretty good conference. You know what I mean? That being what was the West Athletic Conference for the NCAA basketball. Now they move into Conference USA as well too. So this is going to make them look a lot better at the committee table. But this also boosts up recruiting. So Sam Houston will probably go over 3.5 because they're Texas boys, and Texas boys ain't trying to get embarrassed. I don't care. So Sam Houston over 3.5. I like it -130. UTEP. See, this surprises me. UTEP is a team I would have thought went on to the AAC. UTEP has been an established type team for a very long time. And I thought that they had a lot more going on than San Antonio because they've been more established than San Antonio. But El Paso decides to stay back and play in the Conference USA, which might be a great decision for this team as well, too, because they have a good opportunity to win their conference title as well, too. I know you look at over 5.5 games and say, Pop, how can that happen? UTEP was a team that was on the up and up last year, and things do change up a little bit. The coaches, it has a plan there, and we'll see how it goes. I think that they're going to be a really good conference team, and they might be able to get themselves a nice little, some nice little wins in non-conference. Probably not against somebody who's, Power 5, but against one of those Midland smaller teams, they'll probably do pretty well. So we move forward. Let's go ahead and talk about Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky is the favorite to win this conference once again. I think that that's all right. That's the right way to go because the one team that's been the consistent, it's been Western Kentucky in this conference. So they're another team that's grown so much over the years as well too. They went from being another Division II team, FCS school, to coming on in, playing in the Sun Belt, and going at it with Southern Mississippi. Then them and Southern Mississippi both went to Conference USA. Now you see that they've left Conference USA now. Southern Mississippi, so Western Kentucky's in here kind of all by themselves, but they should be able to make some new rivals. I think their rivalries will be with teams like UTEP, teams like Sam Houston, and Liberty as well too. So it's going to be a lot of fun in the Conference USA. So let's go ahead and we're going to check out who I have winning this conference. And I think I kind of told on myself early, and that's going to be Liberty. And Liberty is not the favorite to win this conference. I'm surprised. They should be, but they're not. I like Liberty with the +250. The favorite to win the conference is Western Kentucky, like I told you, +125. So that's going to be their deal right there. And I think this should work out pretty good, but that's going to be that right there. And that's going to be the Conference USA preview. So let's move forward and jump into our next conference, and that's going to be